So, we are on lesson 10 on economics, and we'll be looking at the factors of production. And under the factors of production, we'll look at meaning of factors of productions. We'll look at classification of factors of production, which are labor, land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. So these are the four factors of production. So the four factors of production are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. Land as if we're going to look at land as a factor of production, meaning, illustration, and characteristics. Then we'll look at labor as a factor of production, So let's go dive into it. Meaning of factors of production. The factors of production are the inputs used to produce a good or service, right? To produce income. Economists define four factors of production. We have land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. These can be considered the building blocks of an economy. So, factors of production are actually inputs that are used to produce a goods or service, right? And these goods and services actually produces income. Land. Now we're going to look at land as a factor of production. Land, regarded as a factor of production, encompasses the natural resources utilized in the creation of goods or services. These resources can be renewable, such as forest, or non-renewable, such as oil, gold, or water. According to Edward Petersmark, the executive director of practice development at M&O Marketing, labor. Labor as a factor of production. The second element of production is labor. Labor refers to the effort individuals put into producing goods and services. This includes the work of a waiter serving your meal at a nearby restaurant, as well as the engineer who designed the bus that carries you to school. So that those are some of the examples of factors of production. So you have to do with labor, what you are putting in to be able to produce goods and services. Now we are going to look at capital as a factor of production. The third factor of production is capital. You can envision capital as the machinery, tools, and structures that people utilize to create goods and services. Common examples of capital include items such as hammers, forklifts, conveyor belts, computers, and delivery vans. So those are examples of factors of production. So capital of production, pardon. So capital of production actually machinery. So you have to do actually with machines. Okay. So entrepreneurship as a factor of production. The fourth factor of production is entrepreneurship. An entrepreneur is someone who integrates the other factors of production, land, labor, and capital to generate a profit. So who is an entrepreneur? Entrepreneur is somebody who gathers land. I mean, he has a land, he has labor, meaning that he has laborers, right? Or he's offering the labor himself, and he has capital, right? Which are actually machinery and all the like. So that is actually an entrepreneur. So an entrepreneur is someone who gathers all the other factors of production, or who combines, or who bring together all the other factors of production to generate a profit. Land as a factor of production, meaning, illustration, and characteristics. Land, in general terms, land refers to the surface of the earth. However, in the field of economics, the concept of land encompasses a much broader meaning. According to Marshall, land includes the materials and forces that nature provides freely to assist humanity in areas such as land, water, air, light, and heat. Essentially, land signifies all natural resources that are valuable and limited. Therefore, it represents any natural resources that can generate income or possess exchange value. So that is a land in economics. So actually, land in general terms, as I said, is the earth. But in economics, the definition is quite very different. It has to do with all the resources put together, right? That can actually generate profit and benefit for the society. Now, what are the key characteristics of land as a labor of production. Land possesses the following key characteristics. Number one, the quantity of land is fixed. So land is fixed in quantity. It is commonly said that land has no supply price. The prevailing market price does not influence its availability. Whether the price is high or low, the supply of demands remains constant. Two, land has original and indestructible qualities. Right? So the quality of land actually they cannot be changed, they cannot be destructible, they are just there. Three, land has limited mobility in terms of geography. So land cannot easily be moved from one place to another. Okay. Four, the fertility of land varies. So you can decide to cultivate cocoa in a land, in another land you decide to cultivate corn, in another land you decide to cultivate granite. So it differs. Now let's look at labor in terms of factor of production. The characteristics are illustrations. Labor refers to any type of work, whether physical or mental. So physical work may be things that you do physically with your hand that drains energy, right? Okay, so that mental can be maybe someone that's in the office signing some papers, try to read, try to solve some few things. So all is a part of labor. Performed in exchange for compensation. So you do all these things in exchange for compensation. If you work, maybe you're a farmer, maybe you are a laborer, maybe you are somebody that is doing typewriting, you are working physically, you also have a compensation. If you are somebody that is just signing documents in an office, you also have a compensation. So it's anything that is physical, mental, but is being exchanged for compensation. According to Marshall, labor is defined as any exertion of mind or body undertaken, either partially or entirely, to achieve some benefit beyond the pressure gained directly from the work itself. For instance, an individual tending to their rose garden as a hobby is not considered a laborer. However, if that same person cultivates roses for sale, they are classified as a laborer. A characteristics of labor. So, what is actually explaining the labor here is talking about is not if you, for example, you are maybe clearing your compound, there is no profit in that. That is not actually considered as labor in economics. Labor is anything that brings you profit. But if you are clearing a compound, right, somebody else compound, and that it brings you a profit, or the person is able to pay you, that is labor. So labor is not considered when you do your personal choice. Maybe you clean your house, that is not labor. But when you clean another person's house, it pays you an income, that is considered as labor in economics. Now, what are the characteristics of labor? One, labor is inherently linked to the individual performing it, meaning that a laborer must personally offer their labor for sale. Two, labor has a high degree of perishability. A laborer cannot store their work for future use. Any day of work that is missed is a day lost forever. I hope that one is clear. Three, laborers typically possess limited bargaining power. Due to its perishable nature, labor lacks a reserve price, forcing laborers to accept lower wages rather than risk idleness or unemployment. So labor is perishable, right? So you can either accept it or leave it. So that is why most times laborers go with little pay because there are many choices. The labor supply changes gradually. That is four. Even if wages decrease, it cannot be reduced immediately because workers need to secure their livelihood in some form. On the other hand, an increase in labor supply is reliant on new birth and requires a significant amount of time for training. Number five, labor is less mobile than capital due to its variations in language, environment, and cultural habits across different regions. So it's very difficult to carry labor from one place to another because you may want to go somewhere and there's a language barrier, okay, or cultural. The people may not understand which type of work is this. So labor is less mobile. So that is it about our classes of today. Tomorrow we'll continue with supply and efficiency of labor. So thank you, guys.